Oh, hell yes. We are live on the Huck Finn Barbell Show, episode number 44. We have a jam-packed episode tonight with a very special guest, and I'm here alongside my co-host, the Double B's with the Double D's, Big Bryce.
What's happening? Live from Sioux Falls over here. Perfect Little Sweeties Gym.
Now, Big Bryce, are you gonna? I mean, this is big time. Can you handle this shit?
I think I can. I'm born for this.
I mean, this is a lot of pressure on your ass.
I need this job, Finn.
Yeah, I know you do. So you better not fuck this up, man. We are always sponsored by HuckFinnBarbell.com. Code YouTube10 for 10% off. The craziest apparel this side of the Mississippi River. Let's Get Stupid pre-workout. Can't believe it's not meth. That's how good this shit is. And I don't know. You got anything else to add before we get the guest of honor on?
Let's Get Stupid. Help that guy get off cocaine.
Oh, that was the greatest review ever. Hey, I just want to let you know my buddy weaned off cocaine using your pre-workout. Let's Get Stupid. Yeah, greatest fucking review of all time for a pre-workout, my friend. All right, without further ado, let's bring in the man of the hour. The man that's too sweet to be sour, Mr. Nick Hogan.
What's up? Huckamania running wild.
Huckamania running wild inside the barn tonight.
That's it, Huck Hogan.
Yeah, that's my nickname, brother. I am a long-lost Hogan member, the long-lost member of the Hogan family.
Well, you got the pump, man. You look the part.
Pump and dump. Nick Hogan, man. The son of the immortal one of my heroes, fucking Hulk Hogan. I mean, before we even get started, I got to ask you before we even start the interview, I've got one question, to ask right off the bat. Did your dad call you son growing up or brother?
Both, honestly. Both, honestly.
God, I love it.
Depends on the context,
Mm-hmm.
But, we always had cool nicknames, but it was mostly brother, when it's so funny because it's like a figure of speech for him now, like
yes.
It's so natural to him that, it's like, he just says it like, oh yeah, all right, brother, let me do this, and it's like, just, it rolls off tongue. So like now, we joke around when I say something, oh, this person's, there's like my cousin or my uncle or my aunt, they go, oh, are you guys really related? Or we didn't know you were related. It's like, well, by that thought process, then everybody's my dad's brother. Just if you call somebody that,
yes.
What I mean? It's pretty funny how frequently, and my wife even noticed it too, that like when we're out places, people say it to me,
yes.
And she goes, do you think people say it to you specifically because they feel like cool saying brother to you because your dad says it so much? And I said, I never really like noticed it like that, but she did. She picked up on it, and I was like, people call me brother a lot.
Hey, brother.
Hey, brother.
Well, growing up, my dad's, he actually had a fraternity in the 70s called the Brothers. Like they made it up in college. So he would say brother all the time. This is back in the early 70s. So I've been saying that shit. My dad said the same shit to me. Hey, brother, how you doing, brother?
I say it to the ladies at work. I'm a nurse, so like I work with all ladies, and I'm like, hell yeah, brother, to all the ladies.
Male nurse. What's going on there, brother? You okay?
Yeah,
we've got an intruder.
That's it. No, just my I got a 3-legged dog. She's a wild animal, dude. She's just totally insane, and she lost her her paw like when she was like 2 days old.
Holy shit.
And apparently the breeder said that like the mom like nibbled at it or something, but I always come up with fun stories for it. Like she was holding the elevator for me, and it was unfortunate surfing incident. There's all kinds of fun stuff. So, it's cool, but she's a sweetheart.
I'd use that, man. Well, I am drinking currently real American beer. Where are we at? Front camera here?
Real American beer, man. That's it.
Hell yeah.
Beer.
That a boy. Yeah, tell us a little bit before we get started about real American beer. Like how did it become a thing, and how did your dad get with this company and all the backstory to it?
Well, what's like interesting is like it's like a timing thing. So, real American beer, and obviously there's a, kind of like a sort of play on words here with, some of the, yeah. Oh, there's kind of like a play on words here. My dad's song, his intro song being Real American. And,
Rick Derringer, greatest song of all time.
Hey, Huck, there's an emergency. Give me 2 minutes, man. I'm sorry.
All right, we'll give you 2 minutes. I'll take you off the stage, my friend.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes.
You got it. Oh my! Can we handle this by ourselves, brother?
I think we can.
Where are we at here? I'm getting the layout all screwed up. Nick's got an emergency right now. We've got a whole list of questions for this guy. I cannot wait.
We got
to get
good
into
ones.
It. Very.
Well,
good
we're talking about entrance music. Should we talk about that's a good one. What's your favorite? Is that your favorite one?
Oh, geez, that's actually a good question. I mean,
did we save it for him?
I think Warrior had a good entrance. Undertaker's all time. I mean, that's definitely one of the top ones. Steve Austin with the glass breaking.
Sexy
DX
boy
was good.
Michaels. I'm a sexy boy.
Oh, that's good. I played that song.
You got
when I drive around, the park, dude.
I like Mark Henry's 3-6 Mafia one. Somebody's gonna get it.
Nah, I'm not a fan of that one.
I like that one.
But I don't like that one. No.
That's my favorite one.
Well, Motorhead with Triple H.
Oh, the game.
It's time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. I mean, what do you think out of this list? Because you got the list in front of you too. I mean, we're very prepared for this interview. This is professional. These questions. I mean, I thought the start was great.
That's my favorite. I was really excited.
I was too. I was excited to hear that answer. So we got through 1 out of 50 questions so far.
Yeah. That was my one I was most excited for, I think. We got some real good ones. Like you said, 50 questions.
Did you when I clicked that down, did you get that? Did it go down?
No.
Oh shit.
But if I go out of it and go back in. No, it didn't.
Maybe just click it yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we better get him back. He's back. The emergency has been averted. Let's put him back on the stage, my friend.
That's it.
Welcome back to this Great American Smoke Show, brother.
I'm so sorry to do that to you, man. Bad timing.
No big deal.
Bad timing. So let me get back to what I was telling you. So Real American Beer, it's like kind of like a timing thing. There's a play on words here with, Rick Derringer, rest in peace. The Real American
just died.
song. Yeah, just a few days ago, man. And he was always super cool. We actually talked to him a few months ago, which, it's heartbreaking that he passed. But the song will live on forever. And Real American, it's a great theme, and it represents obviously the entrance music for the greatest wrestler of all time. But
goddamn right.
When there was a few opportunities, I would say, within the beer world where some of the larger companies had kind of dropped the ball from a marketing aspect, And,
well, I would definitely say that last year there was a big ball dropped by a certain company.
Yeah, I mean, there's just maybe they just missed the mark or whatever, but it just felt like there was a really, really great lane for an American beer to come into the market. And, there was a great idea that, my dad had that was like, as, the country is kind of coming back together and, we're really looking for like that sense of unity among the country and Americans that, he's, his story is that, when he would wrestle, if he had an issue with somebody, they'd try to talk it out over a beer or something like that. So he, it'd bring people together. We're just having a beer or something like that. So he wanted to bring America back together one beer at a time, with the new American beer that is fresh and it's delicious. And, that's where the idea came from. And it's crazy because this thing is launched so fast and it's happened so fast that, it's growing like crazy. We're in over 20 states now. And obviously, it's a light lager beer. It's really good. It's really delicious. It's got crazy good flavor to it. So it's crazy. It all just happened really quick. And that was like the spark that ignited the fire. There was just just like kind of the timing of everything.
Yeah, no, Real American Beer, great beer. Go out and check it out. You can find it at therealamericanbeer.com or realamericanbeer.com.
Yeah, therealamerican.com. Let me just double check.
I mean, Google it. You could find it. There's a store finder.
Yeah, therealamerican.com. There's a store finder. We also have some really cool merch. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. We've got like really cool hats and obviously t-shirts and koozies and stickers and towels and flags. And I mean, you name it. There's a lot of cool merch too for, the summer coming up. And We just launched the tall boys, the 24-ounce can, which Dad likes to call them the Big Slam.
Yes.
So those are starting to roll out.
Dude, I had such a good video idea for that can. I was gonna sit and then like have a regular Real American beer can like kind of in my lap, and then I was gonna act like I was watching TV, and then it'd go to the TV and there's like a girl in a bikini, an American flag bikini, and my can would grow and it would grow. I'd be looking up, whoa, as I'm drinking the beer. I thought it was a hilarious idea.
Your ideas are unmatched.
It's insane, right?
Your ideas are unmatched, my friend.
But growing up, when did you find out like your old man was like the most famous person in the world?
Dude, what's so weird is, it's like for a while it was because he's always just been like dad to me,
right.
And people would ask me when I was younger, it's like, oh, what's it like having your dad, be over? And at first I didn't know any difference. Like, well, what's your dad like? He's my dad,
My dad's a plumber.
Yeah,
That's what dads do.
Yeah, it's just I hang out with him, we go outside, we jump in the pool, like just dad stuff,
normal shit. Yeah,
he takes me to soccer practice, things like that, and it wasn't, I always joke around that I'd always win the argument of like my dad can beat up your dad,
Oh yeah, it's a given, man. That's awesome. Yeah, nobody can beat that.
I mean, realistically, truth is that I started to realize it from a young age because there was times where we'd be going places or be going to events and like I wouldn't know what was going on, but my mom would have to get my sister and I ready, or we'd go and there'd be all these people, and we wouldn't be able to go in the same way as everyone else. We'd have to go in a different entrance, or we'd have to go somewhere and they'd have to keep the crowds away from him or something. And it didn't really need to be explained to me once I saw what he did and that he was a performer and that he's an athlete. So, it all kind of falls into place in your head as you grow up and you're exposed to it. You kind of just understand it. You don't really need someone to explain it to you. So, it all just kind of gradually from, being a kid, I'd say around like 5-6 years old, you just start to see little things. And then by the time you're 10, you like really fully understand it,
Yeah. That was kind of one of my off questions right off. That was, did kids ever try to tell you that their dad could beat your dad up?
It's funny. I always joke about that, but I don't think I ever had that conversation with anybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
I've always been a pretty chill person, so I would think I was pretty laid back. So
yeah. When did you find out like wrestling was real?
It's always been seeing my dad come home with the injuries. Coming home with the injuries and needing the surgeries from the knees to the hips, the shoulders, the back, the neck, everything, and it's like it's tough. He's had, I want to say he's probably had like 50 surgeries.
Insane amount,
yeah. And it's like there's not a single part of his body that doesn't hurt. Whether it's like if we go work out together, it's like he's doing push downs, his elbows hurt. If he's doing chest, his shoulders hurt. If we're doing legs, his knees hurt. It's like everything hurts to move. For him, so it's really incredible. His pain tolerance is just like through the roof, but he's it's remarkable how he deals with it because he always says, he's like, man, if somebody could just spend like 5 minutes in my body, they'd probably understand.
Holy shit.
I have some good days and some bad days, but I see it, and it's that's just the the
cost of doing business.
Yeah, that's the cost of doing business. That's the effect that that line of work has.
Like so growing up, besides your dad, who was your favorite wrestler?
Man, I loved watching, obviously, Dad. I loved watching guys like John Cena. I loved watching The Rock. I loved Big Show. There was just a whole lot of guys that were really fun to watch. And the cool thing was that it's almost like having like your dad and his friends are like the Avengers or something. Mm-hmm. It's like, like they're all superheroes, and then they all hang out at the house on the weekends.
Yeah, they're all fucking giants and big motherfuckers. Right.
Yeah, so cool. You have like these unique memories and like these unique, childhood experiences that, it's a blessing that, any kid obviously would want, but it was just really cool to, see these guys and see the relationship they had and the friendship and the bond that they had was, like I said, it was like real life Avengers almost.
Did any like wrestlers babysit you?
Macho Man.
Bushwhacker, a Macho Man babysitted you? Oh
Macho Man was my babysitter.
Dude, that's got to be the greatest thing ever. You got any stories about Macho Man babysitting you?
And China for a short period of time when I was young, before she was China.
Gotcha.
That's sweet.
Fucking jacked too.
And Macho Man was great, man. And Brian Knobs, I drive him nuts. Nasty boy Brian Knobs.
Oh yeah, the Nasty Boys. I remember those guys.
But Knobs was probably the worst.
Because he would do like anything.
Yeah,
right?
it was just whatever. Macho Man was cool. You know, he'd always keep an eye on my sister and I if my dad needed or whatever. And I have this like funny memory of him with his yellow Corvette, and he had a car phone in it, and it was like the big phone with the wire. And
nobody had that back in the day either.
Yeah,
dude, my grandma had one in her Cadillac, but it was never hooked up because it was too expensive.
Yeah,
this is probably like 1994. I remember like one day we had to go somewhere, and Mach was like, "Yeah, jump in with me." So I'm like, I get in, and he's like, got his car phone on, he's all jacked, he's in his yellow Corvette, and I thought it was the coolest thing,
Yeah. Was he wearing like fucking his ring attire? Because he wore like a lot of like crazy shit outside the ring, right?
His general wardrobe was interesting. It wasn't necessarily like ring attire, but like he always had cool clothes. He always had, he always looked he looked like Macho Man.
Right.
There was never a time where he just looked like Randy. He always looked like Macho
his voice was so insanely like, you could pick it out of any lineup. Like his voice was so unique. Oh yeah, the Macho Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Unique, man. Very unique.
Were you afraid of any wrestlers like growing up?
Not necessarily, but I remember one time when I met Stone Cold, he asked me if I was doing good in school, and he asked me like in such a serious way. I was like, I don't know what to tell him. Tell him the truth. It was
like, he's gonna whip your ass. You're not doing good in school.
Yeah, pretty much. So no, but that's nobody was ever like scary. They were all really friendly and nice. But I remember Steve was very serious about me doing good in school.
That's good. Yeah, Steve Austin. I've met him a couple times. Good dude. What's the going off that? Who is like the craziest, like literally the craziest wrestler you ever met?
The craziest?
Like just insane in real life.
No, man.
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, right.
He's in Chicago right now.
He's a trip. Rob is so cool, man. Rob and his wife Katie are so cool, and they're so much fun to be around. And the thing is, he's not necessarily like crazy. It's just I think the crazy finds him. He's very peaceful and calm, and like he's always just chilling. But he's just like he's just a. It's like crazy is around him,
right?
It's like Rolling Thunder,
I was invited to a wrestling show yesterday in Chicago. I don't know if you guys know a guy named Luke Hawks, but he's friends with that RVD, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I just landed in Chicago. We're at the Admiral Theater in Chicago tonight. Can you make it?" And I couldn't because it was very late notice. And then he wanted to know exactly where the best deep dish pizza place was in Chicago, which. If you're ever in Chicago, you gotta get Lou Malnati's.
I've been to Lou Malnati's before.
That's my favorite. It's Portillo's.
Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Portillo's, I could skip Portillo's. I don't love Portillo's as much as Lou Malnati's.
Did you get Italian beef?
I think I just got a hot dog.
Oh no, that's right. That's where you made a mistake. You get a big beef dipped, mozzarella and hot peppers. I mean, that's the best.
I don't like a wet sandwich.
Doesn't compare. You don't know what you're talking about. You're from fucking South Dakota.
Hey, it don't matter.
Christ.
I DJ'd for a while up in Chicago, and I'd go out to Schaumburg and I'd play, downtown and stuff. Right. But every time I was in town, had to go to Lou Malnati's.
Best pizza of all time, brother.
And it's like that deep dish up there, man. I love deep dish pizza. I love New York pizza, but for me, the Chicago style, the deep dish is like
hell yeah. Chicago is the best, man. The best. New York does not compare to our pizza.
What about Jack's Pizza? You like a Jack's Pizza?
It's a floppy piece of shit.
What do you like a Jack's Pizza?
It's a frozen pizza. I don't even know if they have that in Tampa.
Oh. Yeah, well, it's too hot. They can't freeze shit.
I won't pass up a frozen pizza, but if I have the chance,
Oh, do you guys have like pizzazzes down there? You ever see me spin a pizza on a pizzazz?
We got Pizza Hut and Domino's.
No. A pizzazz is like for a frozen pizza. Like it spins around in a circle.
It's like a plate that spins. There's like a hot light.
Because a lot of people from the West Coast.
That. I've never seen one in person.
I'm gonna have to send you one, brother. They're fucking awesome. I've been using one for 20 years.
That's the gift for being on the show. I'm
definitely gonna send you one of those, man.
All right.
Greatest thing ever.
So what do you put the frozen pizza on it?
Yeah, you put it on. You just put it to 16 minutes.
Turntable that cooks it.
Yeah, all you do is plug it into the wall, and it's outside. It's no oven, and it just spins in a circle. And it's literally the best pizza you've ever had after it gets done cooking. 16 minutes, no cleanup.
Damn, crispy.
Yeah, dude, I guarantee you will love a fucking pizzazz. Like I give pizzazzes out all the time as gifts because it's the greatest.
Pineapple on pizza? Yes or no?
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fucking fruit, man. Fuck that shit. I'm a meat guy.
Thank God, no pineapple on pizza.
Damn, man.
Can't do it.
When you were growing up, were you a Hulkamaniac?
Of course, but I gotta say, for me, when I grew up, was the era that I really got to witness more of was the NWO. So I really, really, really was like a fanatic of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the heel character. I love Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And the red and yellow era, Hulkamania is amazing. Of course, I'm a Hulkamaniac, but for me, if I had to pick, I really, really love the bad guy character.
Yeah, the NWO was
so
fucking awesome.
It was so good, and it was like that dastardly, like, he cheap shot you and then, oh no, just like ask for and then get you again. It's just like, God, the character was just so good.
Yeah, I loved it when he turned and fucking the good guy. Oh God, he's coming to help like the good guys, and he comes out and he turns on him.
He was the third
and then they just trashed the ring. Insane.
Oh,
hey, play that video. You got that video?
Yeah, I got it. I got it pulled up. Yep.
That's a good video. The video, this is where is it? Right here. Let me add it to the stage.
Yep.
Yeah, when you this is great. When Nick was a kid. See how he goes out, you go out and get your dad the red and yellow?
Yeah.
I love it, man.
It's funny. That's great, man. I remember doing that. That was cool.
Shit.
That's so cool.
And speaking of, NWO and the third man, Dad just announced the new wrestling company, Real American Freestyle, which is freestyle wrestling. And, he's got Eric Bischoff. So bringing back the NWO style, and their third man is Izzy Martinez, a great coach. He's
from Illinois.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. He's
got wrestling schools around here.
Yeah. He's a really, really great coach. And he's been so helpful for everything they're doing. But the goal is really to give these guys a platform, that, after, high school and college and, instead of going into mixed martial arts, they can continue wrestling, but at a professional level, and make careers out of it that, will be parallel to that of, athletes in UFC or WWE or something like that, but for freestyle wrestling.
Yeah, I love it. It's got I like the name of it and the logo, right? Real American Freestyle.
That's it, man. That's it. And now they're trying to get Hooters. They're working on Real American Hooters.
I know it. I love, dude. When I was a kid, my dad retired early, fucking took all of his money, bought like a fucking van, a big conversion van, and I was like 16, 17, 18 years old. We would travel the country and stop at every fucking Hooters and get a shirt and food. Every one. Like literally, we stopped at I had like 50 fucking Hooters shirts in high school. I love Hooters, man.
Dude, we'll see what happens, but it's something that it's back to the Real American brands, Real American Freestyle, Real American beer. Hooters is it's a staple of Americana.
It is.
And, there's putting the two brands together, Real American with Hooters, it makes sense. So we'll see what happens. You never know how it's going to play out and if it'll work out, but they definitely have their sights set on it. And beyond that, there's so many other things that Dad's been up to, for not just the beer, because now we're launching, Pennsylvania, we're launching Jersey, we're launching more states. And then we have these stores, like we've got Hogan's Hangout down here, which is the restaurant. And then we've got a new restaurant and bar opening in New York, right across from Madison Square Garden and Penn Station, which is going to be insane. So, the Hulk Hogan bar and restaurant there is going to be phenomenal. And aside from that, we've got two retail stores that sell like Hulk Hogan merch, wrestling stuff, Hulk Hogan's wrestling shop. And we're opening a third one in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee right now. and they're huge, and they're like, they've got like these incredible hyper realistic statues of like Andre the Giant, Jimmy Hart, my dad, and
Jimmy Hart's
you know,
awesome.
pretty much all of the nostalgic memorabilia, toys, signed items. There's stuff in the stores that are ring worn items. It's really cool. It's pretty much like, you know, a miniature Hulk Hogan museum, but you know, with a lot of really cool items for purchase, and it's awesome. So there's a lot, man. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, that area is really good too. Very touristy. I go there all the time. My relatives, my in-laws actually live very, very close to that area. So I travel down there about once a year. I'll definitely be attending what's going to be called, like it's going to be a Hogan's store.
It's Hulk Hogan's wrestling shop.
Hulk Hogan's wrestling shop.
Yeah, there's one in Clearwater Beach, Florida. There's one in Orlando. Those have been open for a few years, and now the Pigeon Forge store should be opening in a few weeks.
Hell yeah. And then the one in New York City, which I've never been to New York City. That's very far away. I don't know if I'll ever be there, but it was right across the street from Madison Square Garden, pretty much the home turf of the WWE. I mean, that's it, right?
That's it, you know, and Dad had so many memorable moments and nights there, and you know, that place is like a second home to him. So, you know, to be able to have that location right outside of Madison Square Garden, where there's so much history, and the Hulk Hogan nostalgia runs so deep there at Madison Square Garden, it's just amazing that it's come full circle now, and that we have the ability to put the brand on that corner, and to be able to have, you know, our mark right there outside of Madison Square Garden, and to be part of that fabric of New York City right there, and sports in the city.
That's badass, brother. That's I can't stop looking at the WWF fucking guitar, dude. That thing is fucking awesome.
That thing is rare, and this one's signed by Kid Rock here.
Hell yeah, that is fucking badass.
And so what's crazy is I think they only made like 10 of these, like 5 or 10 of them. They're extraordinarily rare. And we were at a beer launch. I cannot remember where. I think we were in Wisconsin or something. And one of the guys that was standing in the line had one. Jesus. And I was like, and what's funny is I had just a few weeks prior to that been looking online to see like, you know, what really, how many there are, if any of them ever pop up, because I've had this for years. And you know, I think there's only one that's ever been sold on eBay before. And then that's like the only other one, just this one on the wall and that one that was sold on eBay are the only 2 I've ever seen in my life. And then out of nowhere, some guy's standing in line with one. I was like, do you know what that is? And he's like, yeah, man, it's really rare. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. At least you know.
Do you know, were they like made for like a special event or something, or like
were they were given out as gifts to some of the superstars, because that's how we got it. That was a gift that was given to Dad from the company. You know, it was like a promotional item that somebody had made, and they gave them out to a few people, and that was really it. So I don't think they were ever like available for sale anywhere. I think they were just more of like a
gift,
an internal gift that they'd given out to some of the superstars.
Sweet.
And you know what's funny is, people come up with this type of stuff, like this memorabilia, when we go out and he does signings or we do beer launch events or something like that.
See all kinds of crazy shit.
Oh man, some guy came through with the trunk of the old NWO NASCAR. Like, I was like, he's like, it showed me a picture of it. I'm like, oh, it's cool. You have it? He's like, no, it's in my car. It's here. I'm like, go get it.
That is awesome, man.
That's badass.
It's awesome. Plus, getting out to see everybody and meet all the people and the fans and hear everyone's story of how they, you know, how he influenced their lives and how he impacted them. And there's so many people that have unique stories about how Hulk Hogan influenced them or gave them, you know, inspiration for something or helped them get through a tough moment in their life. So it's been really rewarding to get out and see everybody too, especially with launching Real American Beer. The reception has been tremendous.
Fucking man, he influenced my life big time. My first fucking dumbbell set, I brought it to him that day I met him, was a fucking Hulkamania dumbbell set, and I still have it on my dumbbell rack behind us.
Is that the blue ones?
Yeah, it's a little blue one.
Yeah.
And I had the workout cassette. I had all that shit, man.
It's funny. He watched that workout cassette a few weeks ago, and he was like, I couldn't do that now. He's like,
I know it. Fucking crazy. I know it.
Yeah,
that was fucking awesome, dude. You know, that was my first weight.
Yeah, it's funny because it's, you know, the gym is so full circle too, because my dad and I have bonded so much through the gym, and that's how, when I first showed him some of your videos and stuff, he's like, this guy's nuts, dude. He's great, you know. And I was telling him how we met, you know, and I think it was that day with Big Boy,
on California.
Yeah, and I think I was telling him about it. I was like, Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, Huck's pretty crazy. I said we went out there, and I think you and Big Boy had like 100-pound straight bar, and you wanted to like toss it back and forth to each other until one of you dropped it, and
we were
lay underneath it, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, I love you to death, but
I can't do that, brother.
Pick another volunteer.
Yeah. No, that was the first time I met you. I was out in California. I just did a couple of videos with Big Boy out there at his gym that he had at the time, and God, that was a hell of a trip, man. I fucking pounded like a bottle of Patron, bench 500 pounds, jumped on Big Boy's back. That video went like viral. I literally went outside, forced myself to throw up because I didn't want fucking alcohol poisoning. Came back in with a bloodshot eye because I popped a blood vessel. Then I immediately shotgunned a Four Loko with a couple other guys there. And then we did something. I mean, it was wild. Then I was headed back to the airport and we hooked up with you and did an arm workout. And
can you bench more after pounding the tequila?
Always, man. Always. The old tequila bench press trick, man. And plus it was like Cinco de Mayo right around there too. So they're playing like the Spanish or the Mexican music. It was nuts, man.
So you're all healed up from the pec tears now, yeah?
Yeah, everything's good. I actually had a little slight speed bump the other day. I was overhead pressing 345 pounds and my fucking shoulder like jumped like it tore, which I got an MRI. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I saw that video. You see it.
Yeah, it jumped.
Yeah.
But it was like scar tissue, I guess, popped and something else. And I have a slight tear in my front delt. No big deal. Back at it and didn't miss a workout. Luckily, it was like a slight tear, no surgery. So back on the horse.
Thank God.
Yeah. Ain't no big deal, man.
That's insane.
It's got to be the real American beer that's keeping you
real American beer, brother. Of course.
Bringing you back so quick.
Yeah, real American beer day. Keep the doctor away for Huck Finn.
Yeah. Well, that's what your dad did tell me. I think I had a big Twitter following, and then I got kicked off of Twitter. This is like right before Elon Musk had it, and they kicked me off. So your dad was following me on there. I remember he messaged me. He goes, "Yeah, brother, back in the day, me and Vince, we used to have a beer before every workout. We called it a heart attack beer. It thinned the blood." So I always remember that. And I always tell people that, like I'm always having a beer before I work out because fucking Hulk Hogan said it, man. I mean, if it's good enough for Hulk Hogan, it's good enough for fucking Huck Hogan, you know?
Train, say your prayers, and drink your beers.
Exactly, my friend. And drink your real American beers.
That's it. Drink the real American beers.
What's your best? Who do you think has the best entrance song? We were talking about music and shit.
Oh man,
I mean your dad, but we can't say your dad.
Real American. You know what? The one that's just so iconic is the glass breaking. The Stone Cold. When the glass shatters, and then Vince McMahon's music was so good.
Yeah, it was good too. Yeah. Yes, especially in that era.
Yeah, it's just like it was just so ruthless. It was just so him. Yeah,
Yep.
So that would be probably top three. There's Real American, Stone Cold's music, and Vince.
I concur with that. I agree with that.
I mean, just those three alone. The pop that the crowd would give was just you hear Real American start. Plus Hollywood's music, the Jimi Hendrix was really good.
That was good too.
Hogan too. It was evil. It's perfect bad guy music.
A lot of people don't know, but Jimmy Hart actually wrote a lot of fucking songs, like a ton of them, right?
He did. And what's funny is I saw this thing the other day that Jimmy sang backup on Shawn Michaels' song "Sexy Boy" because they didn't.
He was the girl in it.
Yeah, they didn't have a female singer there, and we do our Monday night karaoke here at the bar at Hogan's Hangout. Every single Monday we have a karaoke event, and we have our own custom title belts that we give out to the two best singers of the night. And Jimmy is one of the judges. He's there every Monday with us.
I gotta go to that.
We've got this complete character named Zach that comes in, and he dresses up as Ric Flair. He dresses up as Shawn Michaels, and he really nails it too. And he's an in shape kid, so he looks the part. And he comes in and he does "Sexy Boy," and Jimmy's back there, and out of nowhere you hear somebody singing background vocals. Jimmy's doing his part.
It's fucking great. I love it, man. Yeah. I actually, one of my neighbors is traveling down there, I think next week, and I told him, dude, you get in Sunday. Are we back? We just lost you for a second. All of us. But my neighbor's traveling down there, and I'm like, dude, he's staying in Clearwater. And I said, you have to go to Hogan's Hangout Monday night. Go to fucking Monday Night Karaoke, man. You're not gonna regret it at all. So he's going down there. I think it's next week or in 2 weeks.
Let me know, man. Send me a text. Let me know.
I will.
Hear him over there.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He'll drink a lot of fucking beer.
Oh, well, we have plenty of it. And, you know, we just got Real American on draft there.
There you go,
and it's phenomenal on draft. People love it.
Hell yeah. Besides your old man, because of course we know, I guess maybe let's include your old man. Have to. Who is the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers in your opinion?
Oh man,
your dad's. I agree. He's up there. He's number one.
Man, it's so tough. You know, Dad. There's Andre the Giant.
Oh yeah.
You know, God, man, that's a tough question.
I know.
It's shoot. You know, there's just so many. You know, it's a lot of people include Ric Flair. You know, a lot of people do include Rick. You know, Stone Cold, The Rock. It's tough to pick, man. There's John Cena. There's
different eras and shit.
Yeah, you'd almost have to do it by era for sure.
That would actually probably be a better way to do it. You know, but for me, it's any one of those guys. You know, in any order, really. But you know, they're just it's iconic. You know, and you think about how those guys represented their eras, and you know, it's like Ric Flair is never out of character. You know, which is
I hear that he's always in character. He's down there drinking beer at the bar, in character all the time.
I have a buddy that lives there, and that's like the bar he goes to, and he's always like, "Rick's here again." He's always
yeah, it's funny. It's funny too. I was on some DJ tour thing, and I had a layover at some airport. I don't remember where it was. This is like 12, 13, 14 years ago. And I remember I came off of my plane and I was going down to the next gate to catch my flight, and I could hear him in the terminal. Woo! You know, and I was like, Uncle Rick, you know, and
love it.
You know, as I got closer, I could see there was like the crowd around him at the bar in the airport, and there he is, you know, at the bar having a drink. Woo! And then I just walked up, said hello, whatever. He was surprised to see me. We just happened to be in the same airport at the same time, but always in character.
Oh, I got to tell you this quick story about Ric Flair, and I got it. Steve Austin vouched for it because this guy Ed Cohen, who's like the greatest powerlifter of all time, he's like the GOAT of powerlifting. He comes out. He's come out to my house a bunch of times, and he was telling me the story about back in the late '90s. The wrestlers would come through Chicago, and he'd go out and hang out with them at the airport bar, or not the hotel bars and shit near the airport. So he's telling me they're all there, you know, having some beers and stuff at the bar, and the bar's about to close. And down comes Ric Flair in his ring attire, his ring robe, and he's got a couple women with him. And he goes up to the bartender and he gives him like $500 or something. It says, "Brother, keep it open an extra hour or two," or something. They agree to it. Flair sits down, disrobes, is 100% naked with these women. And I'm like, there's no way.
Yep.
So I go to Steve Austin's, I did his podcast, and I asked Steve, I said, "Is this story true?" Ed Cohen told me this. And he goes, "True. That motherfucker did that in like every city." Yes, it's true. I was like, holy fuck, man. What a life, dude. Fucking 100%. Crazy.
He'd go, I mean, this is just a story, you know, and so, you know, this is don't take this as I saw with my own eyes, but the stories I've heard is, you know, Rick would be at, you know, the hotel lobby bar or something like that, and he'd be talking to chicks or whatever, and out of nowhere he'd just disappear, and then like 20 minutes later he'd come back down with his robe on, and he'd be naked under the robe. He'd jump up on the bar and do the strut, and you know, show everybody Space Mountain.
Oh, and, I'm gonna go for a ride at Space Mountain. I love that too. That's
the oldest ride with the longest line.
Yes. God,
what's the other one? Girls, none of you can be first, but all of you can be
next. Yes, that's a great line too, man.
He's too much, man. Yeah,
God damn, he's great.
Entertaining. That's for
sure.
Hell
yeah. Well, I mean, that's what it's all about, dude. To be entertained, I love it, man.
Yeah,
pro wrestling is the most entertaining. I've got so much out of pro wrestling between cutting promos and just like my personality.
Yeah,
it's just from fucking growing up watching fucking pro wrestling, you know.
Yeah. Well, somebody sent me a video today of somebody at their wedding, and it's like the guy interrupts the wedding before the I do's, and then the wife hits him with a chair, and then the husband power bombs or choke slams him through a table, and I'm like, people are doing this at their wedding.
I know,
which is surprising because my wedding was just a few months ago, and we had, you know, a few wrestlers at the wedding. You know, Big Show was there, RVD was there, Matt Riddle was there, and Eric Bischoff and stuff, and among them, you know, our buddy Lil Pump was there. Just this very strange group of people who otherwise would probably never be in the same room with each other. But just because, you know, our friendships and relationships with people, there was a very, very unique group of people in the same room of about 200 people. And the fact that everything went so smoothly and it didn't turn into one of these like Instagram viral videos of like something like that happening, and everybody had such a good time.
Yeah, somebody going through a cake or some shit.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was like it was amazing. Everybody was on their best behavior. I was so grateful. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good thing Huck Finn Barba wasn't there. Yeah, that would have been bad. Would have been arrested.
Could have
ruined the wedding.
There was plenty of real American beer, so it could have gone that way.
That's true. I'd had about 30 real American beers, which I did have. I called you after that. I was on this podcast out in fucking Columbus, dude. I was hammered. I had like 25 fucking beers.
I remember you told me that. I was pretty impressed. I was like, how are you not just constantly taking a piss?
Well, I know it. Yeah, I did that podcast for 3 hours and 40 minutes. And Elite FTS is a very big, they've been around since like the 90s. I mean, this is probably the biggest powerlifting, weightlifting podcast in the country, right? Little Sweetie, Double D?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's like a big deal.
And I've been on there a couple times, and I was like, dude, I'm going to break my record from last time. And I had like 18 fucking beers during a podcast.
You're a madman.
Crazy, dude. Crazy.
You're a madman. I love it.
Thanks, brother. Like getting into like growing up and then getting into that reality show, which I watch. I don't remember it too well, but I remember like fucking Hogan's gonna have a reality show and see what like behind the scenes like his family life's kind of like.
Yeah.
How was it? Like, what was the filming of the show? What was it actually like? What was the show like?
It was, first of all, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. It was intense though. It was very intense. It was very, very long days. Because, you know, we started filming around the time I was in, I think 8th grade. And then by the time I started high school, we were pretty much full time filming. And it was like, you know, I had transferred from regular school to doing some homeschooling just to spend some more time with the family and be part of the production. And, you know, by the end of it, it was like we'd start at 8 a.m. and cameras would leave by like 10 o'clock at night. And it was every day, like 6-7 days a week, and it went on for months. And there was even a time like after season 2, you know, after season 1, you'd get like a few weeks off, and then they'd, you know, sign again, you start filming. But like after season 2, the show was doing so well that we wrapped season 2 in the morning and went to lunch and came back in the afternoon and started filming season 3.
Jesus,
it was like, you know, it was, you know, the schedule of it was intense. And I remember even like friends of mine, there's times, you know, where for weeks it was like, we're filming, I can't hang out, can't do anything, this and that. And then I remember when we'd get breaks, I'd have like 2 days where we weren't filming. And I was like, I'm free. I can hang out, you know, you know, I can come out of the house. So, you know, we're not filming for a few days or whatever, but it was really cool. We made some really, really great friends. You become friends with the crew and the production people that you work with, and have some really great experiences. Not just, you know, the show was what I would call lightly scripted.
Right.
It wasn't word for word, but pretty much every single scenario that they put you in is, you know, fabricated. You know, so, you know, Nick and Hulk are going to be here. Mom and Brooke walk in and get to this point and then wrap it up by saying something like this, you know, so it's pretty much, it's very guided, you know, so what they wanted you to do or what they were trying to achieve to create this beginning, middle, and end story arc for an episode. Because, you know, if they just sit around and wait for things to happen, you know, it costs a lot of money in production and there's not much of a story arc there other than it's more like B-roll if you shoot it like that. So it was intense, but it was really cool and it was fun to do. And yeah, if we could do it again, I think I would. I'd probably sign up for it, even though it was crazy. But
did they try to make you stuff you didn't want to do?
It was never like stuff like against my will, but it was things that were like out of character for me, you know. And I was pretty mature at the age that I was when we were filming, but just to fit into this character of the little brother or like the Dennis the Menace or like whatever, they would have me go and throw water balloons or, you know, act like I'm taking my dad's car out or, you know, just stuff like that. That was like things that I would never do in reality, but for the purpose of creating this show that was successful and that everyone had their own part to play and, you know, everyone was participating. you go along with it, and you make it work, and you get the shots done, and they get what they need, and then they create this episode that has this arc, and there's all the characters and the dynamics that play into it, and it sets dad up for the role of coming in to be the parent, and mom to discipline the kids and things like that are all necessary parts of a family reality show that in the 2000s. Did
you have like a favorite episode?
My favorite episode is when we went undercover in disguises to Universal Studios in Orlando, and they had put like prosthetics on us, and they had wigs, and I had a beard like I have now, but it was like all black, and my son had, like blue hair, and they put a fat suit on my dad, and it was like he was in one of those motorized scooters, and
I remember that episode. Yeah,
he's so awesome. He's so good at falling down, and he, as they call it, taking a bump is, you fall down. So he's going through the park, and he jams the scooter up on something and tips it over and takes a bump, and he's selling it. And all these people in the park don't know it's him, and everybody's concerned, and he won't get up, and like they're just like relaxing, and everybody's sitting there going, they're calling security, and everybody's just freaking out. They think this old fat guy just took a spill on a scooter, and my dad just sitting there hamming it up, and my mom's like over there, with some like country accent that she put on, and she's like, "Come on, get up." It's like, it's very funny to watch back, because those are kind of like the experiences that you weren't following as much of like this formula of like A, B, C, modern American family, and the kids and the parents, the disciplinarians, and the kids do this and that. This was like us out of character from what was the typical or the norm of the show. So this was just fun. It was like a very laid back setting where everyone could kind of get out of that, fabricated, American family stuff that we were doing. And we just kind of got to go out and have fun with prosthetics on. And the real interesting part is like taking my dad to a theme park, when he's not disguised, is difficult, because he really is like a bigger attraction than
the theme park. Big time.
So people who have paid their $200 ticket to Disney, they see him there and they think he's part of the show. And they're like, they don't realize he's there with his family, or he's trying to get his.
That had been tough, man, growing up like that too. Yeah, not being able to do like shit, right?
Right. Yeah, it was tough everywhere we went. We'd always have to allow extra time, because he spends time with people. He really likes to, he doesn't like to tell people no. He likes to sign people's stuff and take the photos and be good to the fans that were, they're good to him. So it's tough time wise. And then like going to a theme park or a public place like that, like I said, he is as big or bigger of an attraction than the
he is. Of course he is. Yeah.
So it was really fun to be able to go through a theme park with him for the first time.
Nobody recognizing him,
and he didn't get recognized. So I think he enjoyed it the most.
Yeah, I bet he did. Yeah, fuck, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Did people leave him alone a little more, like when he was like a bad guy, like what I mean, when he was a heel?
I want to say
no way.
It's hard to know, but I mean, like
I want to say yes, but no. People are just still, people just love to say hi and get their photos, which is cool, because you just see, like I said, you see how many people he's affected, or how many people he's influenced, or how many people enjoy what he's done in his career.
Right.
You were in a movie during the reality show time. It says
couple of
you're
them.
In Little Hercules 3D. What is that all about, brother?
Little Hercules in 3D. Oh my goodness. I think I played a high school bully that was bullying Hercules.
What?
But my dad had played Zeus, and this Richard Sandrak was I think he was like the youngest bodybuilder or whatever it was. He was like the kid that was,
Oh, I remember that kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
He played Hercules.
Yes.
And
I wanted to look like him so bad, but I was fat.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a small part.
I still am.
Yeah, I played a bully, and then there was a couple other ones. It's funny because my wife, she enjoys watching like reality TV and old like shows like the OC or Laguna Beach, stuff like that. And one of the movies I was in, I think it was, what was it called? Kill Katie Malone. I was in this horror film. I actually did a couple of horror films in my early days. And one of the movies I was in with Stephen Coletti, who was on Laguna Beach. And I didn't watch Laguna Beach at the time, so I didn't really
no idea, yeah.
Who he was. Oh, look at her. Jeez.
Whoa.
There it is.
But,
what is that, a DVD?
Yeah, it's on DVD, bro. Straight to but yeah,
DVD.
Dean Cain is in it.
I remember Dean Cain.
Yeah, so if you're bored, look it up. But yeah, I didn't watch Laguna Beach, and I didn't realize who Stephen Coletti was. And then one night, my wife was asking me something about this movie, and she had saw it somewhere. Somebody posted on my page about it or something, and she looks at me. She goes, "You were in a movie with Stephen Coletti?" I said, I don't know. I don't know. And she like brought it up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember him." And she's like, "He's in Laguna Beach." I was like, I didn't realize at the time.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've been in a few movies. I wasn't the star attraction, but the first movie I was ever in was The Dark Knight.
Really?
I was an extra in The Dark Knight. It was in Chicago, and I was an inmate on the boat scene, and they had
really?
You could barely see me in it. And then they had a really good scene where I'm walking chained and shackled onto the boat, and the civilians are yelling at me. And we rehearsed that. Like, I remember my first time on the set. I'm chained and shackled. I'm walking onto the boat, and I'm walking. I look. The camera's right there. I look right in the fucking camera like an idiot. Stop. Rule number 1: do not look into the fucking camera. Act like the camera is not there.
Which
ended up cutting that part out.
It was ironic because you're a prison guard.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's what I turned out to be. It's hilarious. Yeah, that was an inmate on the boat. Yeah.
We got to get that clip.
Yeah, I know it, right? And then I was in a movie with Vince Vaughn called The Binge. It's on Hulu. Yeah, it's about like one day a year they like party or something. It's kind of like
I have seen that.
I'm in that movie for like 25 seconds. I'm drinking and lifting at the same time during I think it's like 30 minutes into the movie.
How fitting.
And they just bought like a clip off of some company that buys my fucking Instagram reels and shit.
That's funny. I gotta watch these back, especially Dark Knight.
Yeah, and The Dark Knight ended up being like the fucking best movie ever for a long time, like the highest grossing movie. And I remember I don't think there was no iPhones then, but I had a fancy flip phone, like it was like 2008 or something. And I recorded. You couldn't record on the set, but I recorded like everything, and I was showing everybody. And then I fucking lost my fucking phone at a bar or something. It was bad. I wish I still had that shit, but long gone. But speaking of movies, what movie that your old man was in is your favorite? Because he's been in a lot.
Oh man, it's great. That's a great question. So, God, why am I blanking out right now? Okay, so there's a movie called Santa with Muscles.
I remember that movie. I watched it.
He's in it with Mila Kunis. She's like the little girl in the movie.
That's Mila Kunis in that movie?
Yeah. So, but my favorite part of it is, he plays this eccentric billionaire, Blake Thorne.
Yeah.
And, he's got his own supplement line, and he goes through his house and he has everybody, the chef, his butler, everybody attack him, and he has to fight them off. It's part of his training, and at the end of it, he beats everybody up that works for him. And then they sit down and they're looking over the product samples, and he's on the can. He's like sitting there. He's like, make me more tan. It's like, you sure it's not tan enough on the supplement, the packaging. So I've always when I watch it back as an adult, I love watching that because it's just made me laugh so hard when I see it now. But because he's still so tan, he's just he's so unbelievably tan.
Insanely tan.
He doesn't have to lay out in the sun anymore. He's just permanently tan. And there's speaking of his film and stuff, there was Suburban Commando was great, but No Holds Barred was
my favorite right there. No Holds Barred with Zeus.
Yeah, No Holds Barred was fantastic.
I saw that in a movie theater. I was like 7 years old in Dallas, Texas. It's the last movie my dad was ever in a theater at. Like 1991 or 92 or something.
Yeah, so there was that. Then there was Mr. Nanny was great. Mr. Nanny.
That's my favorite.
And there was a few later on. There was Secret Agent Club. He did some more serious roles too, like action films. Like there's one called Assault on Devil's Island, which is really cool. And there was this Secret Agent Club was cool. He's again like double life type thing. He owns a toy store by day. He's a secret agent at night. And then what I really love the TV show Thunder in Paradise. The TV show, and I love the cartoon, the Rock and Wrestling cartoon. That was
back in the day.
You know.
Well, hold on, you're forgetting about like the biggest movie opportunity you ever had, right? At the beginning, Thunderlips.
Yeah, Rocky, of course.
I mean, that was huge. That was a big propelled them into like stardom.
Rocky 3, Thunderlips, in the flesh,
awesome. Baby. Yes.
Yeah.
That was
awesome. Rocky is, that's the given. That's the peak of them all, And Sly has always been so cool, and Sly's family, his daughters, they're so kind and they're so nice. Everyone's so genuine, his whole family, and he's always been such a great friend of Pop's, and they still maintain a great friendship to this day. And he's always been so kind and generous to all of us. He's a top-notch guy, class act.
Fucking crazy, man. Shit. What did you guys when you guys were on the reality TV show, did you guys get a lot of like free shit sent to your house? Like, what was the weirdest thing or your favorite thing getting sent? Because I get a lot of free shit just sent to my house. I can only imagine what you guys get.
I loved getting car parts.
Oh, yeah, you're a big car guy. Yeah.
That was great.
Definitely.
But people would send stuff, but I think more interesting than that was, when we'd be places or we'd go places, like, again, like the friendships, like, again, the wedding, like Bam Margera has been a close friend for years, and
so cool.
Jesus. He was at the wedding and he's doing phenomenal now, which is great to see because I've known him for 20 years. And I reached out sometime when he was having a tough time a couple of years ago, and we've just maintained a good friendship. But I think more so than like people sending in weird stuff was like we'd be promoting the show and we'd go to like these network parties after like the VMAs or after like the music awards or whatever we'd go to promote the show. They'd have these big network parties where all of the people that are on the reality shows at that time were there, and it was like that's how I ended up becoming friends with Bam and some of these other people. But I think, again, back to the friendships and the relationships you make, that was probably the weirdest part, but also the best part is like just how many just strange relationships you make with people that like you couldn't really explain it other than being in that situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, people would send a lot of stuff. But I think, car parts for me was always the best.
Growing up in your house, what kind of music did you grow up like?
So every day at 6:30, 7 a.m. was like Aerosmith or Motley Crue or ACD blasting from the gym.
Oh, yeah. Your old man's in there working out and shit.
Yeah, and he's in there pounding weights, and Macho Man's down there, and Big Show's down there, and all the wrestlers are down there just going nuts. And he's half the guys are going out the side door puking, and they're just getting come back in, get another body part done. And Tess, stop doing that. My three-legged dog's going wild, tearing stuff up.
I love how you got a three-legged dog. That's awesome.
The tripaw. But that's it. Let me see her. But yeah, it was mostly like classic rock, and then I started playing drums, and then that kind of fit into it. And my mom was always playing like house music and like dance music and stuff. And so it was interesting. Here she is.
Here's the three-legged dog.
Tess.
Holy shit.
Oh geez.
And she
say hi to Huffien.
Hey, what's up, Test? Test or Test?
we should call her Test, but no, it's just Test. It's like call her Tessica.
Test the mess.
That's it. Test the mess.
So when you started having the reality show and everything, did people start showing up to your house a lot? Because it was on fucking TV and shit.
Well, more even yes, but before that, even the house that I grew up in here in Florida was on the water, and right here is like a large destination for tourism in the Clearwater area.
I got a great story, dude, to tell you after this.
Yeah, they do like these boat tours,
I told you, dude.
You did,
dude. You want me to tell the story first before you say it? Because
go ahead,
dude.
Go ahead.
I think I was 15 years old, maybe. And me and my family are down in Clearwater. We used to go to Clearwater all the time for vacation, right? We'd stayed at like the beach, fucking hotel right across the street from the beach there. It's gone now. It's like condominiums. Anyways, my old man would take me down there. One day we get on this fucking boat tour, which is it was like a pirate ship. Right?
Yep.
So we're fucking going down there, and they're like, if you guys look to your left, that is the home of fucking Hulk Hogan, blah, blah, blah. And Pappy goes, I call my old man Pappy. He goes, hey, son, let's we should go over there. Maybe we could talk to him. Maybe we talk to him. Right. So then the next morning we wake up and we get in the van and we head over to Hulk Hogan's house. So we park. This is a true story. We park and we're waiting there maybe 5 minutes. And I'm like, well, what are we going to do, Pappy? He's not going to come out. Right. And he goes, well, I just want to talk to the goddamn mailman. Maybe the mailman will say something. So my old man goes, holy shit. He's in the window. I think he's calling the police on us. Let's get the fuck out of here. He swears to God that your dad was in the window calling the cops on us. We're outside the house for like 5 minutes and then we took off.
That's funny. Yeah. People would drive by all the time because they'd get the idea, they'd hear about where the house was at and they'd come by, they'd drive by. So pretty much like, I don't know, at once every hour, you'd get a couple cars, driving by, or, a couple times an hour, there'd be people coming by, taking pictures of the house and stuff. And then the boat tours, though, like you said, was, and on your left, is Hulk Hogan. And then when we do the reality show, that's where they film the reality show and this and that. But a few houses down, the Formula One driver, Nigel Mansell, had a house and they would mention that. And obviously they'd mention, my dad's house. But as these tours went on, you could tell the guys that were running the tours were either like day drinking or just having fun or something because they just started making shit up. Like, it's like, they'd be like, yeah. And, obviously, Tom Cruise lives around the area, but they'd just be like, yeah, Britney Spears' house is here. And,
you're right. There's
there. And, Stevie Wonder lives right next door. It's like, just because our house was actually there, it validated everything else they said.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just a star-studded neighborhood.
The boat tours, man, fucking ruined everything. Those assholes.
Like the Hollywood tours. It
was. Yeah. Fucking shit, man.
We'd wave at them.
Go ahead.
No, we'd always just wave at them, stuff.
Yeah.
Just, they're entertained by it. Especially when Dad would be out on the boat and you'd see him like out there going, oh, and on the left is Hulk Hogan's house. And then he'd fly by him on the boat and like, and that was Hulk Hogan on his boat. Yeah.
Well, did you get any like good looking women outside the house then? You had to have some kind of stories like that. Jesus.
I was so young when we lived at that house. I probably wasn't paying much attention back then, but you got everything. You got all kinds of walks. Tourists. Everything. People would drive from all over the country just to come see the house and stuff. So, yeah, I think they still do. We don't really know the people that own it now, but people they recognize the house from the reality show, so people still go take photos of it.
Man, that's wild, dude. Getting into like now, what's going on now? You're a DJ, right?
Yeah, I've been DJing almost 20 years now, but
and I was at one of your events as well.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Drank a lot of beer there.
That was a good time.
You guys took care of me. I loved it.
Yeah, so I've been touring around DJing for years, and I've always just been in the music. That kind of came from Dad's side of things, and my mom was also musical. She could play the piano and sing. My sister sings and writes music, and Dad was in a couple of bands and plays guitar, and it just kind of like was one of those things that was in the household. We're always like kind of musical around the house, and I was playing drums and started producing music, and then really, really, really loved watching DJs and turntablists and stuff like that. So I kind of just took to it, and my sister got me a set of turntables for my birthday one year when I was a teenager, and it's kind of just kept going ever since then. But I still produce music. Just released a new record called Diablona. It's like a Latin house track. It was a collaboration with a guy, Marcus Martinez, on a label that's owned by a guy named Max Vangeli, who's a great DJ, really successful. So still doing a lot of that. It's mostly dance music. I've produced some hip hop in the past, but that's really been like a passionate thing for me my whole life is DJing. And, it kind of, goes in between, the priority of like, we have so much going on with, the brands and the businesses and Real American, but, I still always make time for music and touring and playing shows and things like that. So yeah, it's been a while now, but yeah, it's still really exciting for me.
Well, what's the weirdest event that you've been asked to like DJ at? That sounds like a good story right there.
We'll wait till we're off air for me to tell you about that one.
Okay, perfect.
That sounds fucking great.
You can imagine.
I am right now, brother.
I've played, I turned down, it's weird. I turned down a lot of strip club gigs. you know, which
there's a lot of strip clubs down there. Actually,
yeah, you know,
Mons Venus was one of the first strip clubs I ever been to. I was 17 years old when I was down there on vacation.
Famous one. Yeah, but you
Very
know,
famous.
I try to keep it classy for the most part and just play regular clubs. But you know, I've seen some wild stuff through the DJing, you know, years of the touring and stuff. But yeah, when we get off air, I'll tell you about the weirdest one.
I put that in the back burner, so we're definitely going to talk about that.
I gotta know.
We got a buddy down there.
There was a convention in Vegas, and it was for an after party for this convention. And I'll tell you, we made a quick turnaround. So
we got a buddy that plays for the Buccaneers down there named Co Keefe. He's been down there a couple years, and he spends most of his time at the 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh yeah, spaceship.
Right? What did they say? They go up to the spaceships at the top, right?
Yeah. It's funny. I've been in the spaceship with DJ Snake and a couple other DJs after there was a big festival here in Tampa, and like everyone wanted to go like to the strip club afterwards. So I ended up getting dragged along, and you know, I think Lil Jon was in there. It was a mess of just everybody that was at this music festival ended up over there, and you know, everyone's like, let's go up to the spaceship. And like, it was just so weird because you go up in this spaceship and it's like all just these little seats that like face each other. And like,
yeah,
I was like, all right, cool. See you guys. And I ended up leaving, but you know, it was very, very strange. But yeah, I have been up inside the spaceship and seen what it looks like, but it is very weird that it's just a bunch of like seats that face each other. And I remember reading that there was, it was like a house or something that some guy was making these like spaceships as like a house or some kind of like prefab type thing, and they were selling them, and then somebody got the bright idea to put one on top of a strip club.
A genius.
Yeah,
because it stands out like a motherfucker.
These girls are out of this world.
Good marketing,
man.
Yeah. You ever had sex on Mars? Right.
That's it.
What's your favorite concert that you've ever been to?
Oh man, you know what? Kiss was so phenomenal. Seeing Kiss, I mean, like those guys put on such a tremendous show. I mean, like I've seen Aerosmith, I've seen a lot of different acts, but in terms of just like absolute showmanship and like the production and everything about it is like Kiss, you know. And what's so interesting is, again, back to like fun stories with Dad, is that Dad knows so many of these people. Years of events and things he's done, and
going to events with Hulk Hogan's got to be fucking great.
Yeah, he's got such a great relationship with so many people that, you know, it's really fun to go and see him reconnect with some of these people, and then we get to enjoy the show. And one of the funniest is Dave Chappelle, man. Dave Chappelle and Dad get along so well.
Chappelle's awesome.
It's so hilarious when you put the two of them in the room together. It's almost like it's as funny as his skits. Seeing the two of them,
his fucking show is hilarious too.
Yeah, the two of them together is like, it's infectious. It's humor, man. It's crazy.
Damn.
What is your favorite beer besides real American beer?
Besides real American beer,
yes.
You know, it's funny because my dad, for a long time, his dad drank PBR, and then
that's what my dad drank.
Yeah, so
it's a good dad.
My grandfather drank PBR. My dad really loved Miller Lite for a long time, and now, you know, real American. I've never been, you know, too much of a beer guy aside from now, you know, real American. But if I had to pick outside of real American, it would probably be like, you know, back to Dad's old favorite, you know, being Miller Lite or Grandpa style with the PBR. And my wife loves Dos Equis, you know, for an imported beer. So
not a fan of Dos Equis. Miller Lite, yes.
Yeah.
Dos Equis,
yeah, but yeah, I'd have to say, if it's not real American beer, it'd probably be a Miller Lite.
Amstel.
Oh yeah,
Amstel.
My mom used to drink Amstel Light. So
they said hams.
No, like, hams. Hams is fucking older than hell, man.
Yeah.
Yummies.
You know, it's, you know, but I know your favorite's real American beer, so I don't even need to ask.
Goddamn right, man. Because you know why? Because I'm a real goddamn motherfucking American, brother.
And you know, it's crazy because when we got into this beer space, you know, it was like there's such a learning curve about, you know, beer companies and beer here in America. And you learn that a lot of the beer companies are owned by larger corporations, and some of these corporations are based outside of America. And for us, it was really crucial to be an American beer that's brewed here in America. It comes from what's brewed in Wisconsin, and it comes from America, and the owners live here in America, pay taxes here in America.
Love it.
Business here in America.
Well,
so
you bet it's real American beer, man. You got it, right?
Yeah, it's an American brand through and through.
Hell
So all the way down to the core and the roots of the beer. It's all really our foundation is based in truly being real American through and through.
I've been chugging real American beer this whole goddamn podcast, brother. Fucking shit, man. Wait, hold on, it's in Wisconsin. That's not far from us. From me.
Yeah, brewed in Wisconsin, man.
You know what?
It's like halfway.
Was it up in La Crosse or somewhere?
I don't know exactly where. I do know it comes from Wisconsin though. But
Wisconsin's like the capital of beer too,
Yeah,
that's where Pabst came from. That's where God, what else came from? Old Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Schlitz, maybe.
A lot of fucking beer companies up in Wisconsin, man.
We were in Wisconsin recently. We were making another stop up there.
I know. I told you to remember. I texted you. I called you. I was like, "Shit, you're in Wisconsin. That should have came up."
It was so cold. It was so cold there, and we did this one event outside, and there was people on the stage that were like doing the beer chugs, and they're like pouring ice cold beer on themselves outside, and it's like 15 degrees outside.
Yeah, they don't bother Wisconsin people. Come on.
I'm like, these people from Wisconsin are built different.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Dude, there's women up there
fatter,
with fucking beards, man. I mean, it's wild up there,
But it was
fatter up here, man.
Yeah, man. I gotta say, it's something about it was that the beer tastes best in Wisconsin, man. It was like drinking the ice cold real American in that cold weather up there. It was like something about it was so refreshing.
Well, up here we have our own built-in coolers. All you do is throw a fucking case of beer into the fucking snow, right?
Yep.
And it stays cold. You go outside your back door, grab a beer, built-in coolers right in the goddamn snow. And that's one of the highlights of living up here.
Yeah, and we were giving out beers at these events. We had coolers, with ice that the beer was in, and it was so cold outside. And like, I remember I was handing beers out to people, and like, I'm digging my hands down in the cooler, and I was afraid my wedding ring was gonna like slip off because it was so cold. My fingers were like so frozen and like numb. I couldn't even feel my hands. I was like, got to the point where like sticking my hands in the ice was like painful. Like it hurt to like put my hands on the ice. I was like, it's so cold here, man.
Yeah, Wisconsin is something else, man, especially in the fucking winter time, man.
Super nice people, though. Really,
yeah, they are very friendly people, and very a lot of good bars, like really, kind of dive bars and good snowmobiling up there.
Yeah, and it's beautiful up there. It was just beautiful. We went through a couple of places up there that were just like absolutely stunning, gorgeous.
What do you have? A bunch of cheese curds or what?
That's it. The cheese curds.
Cheese curds. That's it.
Yeah, we spent some time up there. We enjoyed up there, man. It was really cool.
Do you have any like those? Speaking of like real American beer events you guys have been to over the last year or two, what is like some really good funny ass stories that you guys have? I mean, you had the guy with the guitar and shit, and
the NWO thing, the trunk.
Yeah. No, it's like there's some great ones, man, and it's like the funny thing is like people will like try to bring like their items from home, which is great, and they bring stuff, but you see people, and like the best is seeing the tattoos, the Hulk Hogan tattoos, and it's like I've got like a photo album in my phone of all of them because I try to take a photo of all of them, and it's like some of these people have like their entire thigh or they've got an arm, and then we saw a guy a few months ago at one of the autograph signings that Dad did at our store in Orlando. And he said, hey, I have your face tattooed on me here. Can you sign above it? And I'm going to go get it tattooed. And he did. There was a tattoo shop right across the street. And he went right over there and got it tattooed. And then we saw him at the signing a few weeks ago, and he had it tattooed. I remember the guy.
There it is, brother, right here.
Man of his word.
Yeah, before he signed it. Now I got another picture of it after it. Now it's tattooed. And I was like, man, it's crazy. These people they're so enthusiastic about it. And it's really cool to see these tattoos. And it's funny because like you get like the realism, you get like people that do like the portraits of him, you get people that do the Hulkamania logo, you get people that do the signature, and then like a couple of people have like these tattoos that are like cartoon versions or like a South Park version of Hulk Hogan and stuff. And I'm like, it's just crazy. It's bizarre to see how wide the spectrum is of things that people will tattoo on them in relation to Hulk Hogan. It's pretty cool.
When are we gonna get real American beer in South Dakota in Sioux Falls?
Oh yeah, he's in South Dakota.
I'm like in a desert of real American beer. Like
Right.
I'm thirsty over here.
I love Sioux Falls, by the way.
Really?
Soon, yeah. We're
He's got a gym out there.
Yeah, I've DJ'd in Sioux Falls, man. Yeah. I know we're launching South Dakota soon, so I'll find out. I'll let you know. But I know in the few months we're launching a lot more states. So some of the states launch silently before we announce, and the product will start showing up. But I know South Dakota is on the radar for us to launch very soon. So probably in the next few months we should have it out there.
Good news.
Yeah,
it's good for you, double B with the double D's.
Got to keep you hydrated, man.
Yeah, I'm thirsty.
He's a big drinker too, man. I've been drinking with this guy many times. Huge drinker. I mean, how much you weigh?
Like 375.
375. What? 6'8"?
7, 8, yeah, somewhere in there.
High heels on 6'9".
Drink some beer.
He can drink a lot of beer. He could go beer with me, so that says something.
I've had a few of them.
Damn.
What was that? One time we got really drunk and I was tacking you out of a fucking window on like 8th floor.
Oh, we were wrestling in the almost.
Told you, low man wins, man. Low man always wins, brother.
Right, Nate.
I'm still gonna fight.
What's the wildest DM you ever got?
Oh God. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's so many, Go ahead. I think realistically, it's like sometimes the people that like it's funny to me because sometimes people like have this like entitlement when they message you, like almost like you owe them something.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You read it and you're like, how did they think this was gonna work? Like, what did they expect in return to this message?
Just some crazy shit. Like, hey Nick, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
Yeah, what the fuck,
pretty
man?
Much. Yeah, pretty much. Or like people like I don't have read receipts on, but like people like they don't see that I saw it. But like if you don't respond, people just start talking to themselves in the DM and they just start getting angry with you for not responding. And it's then people just start like. Then you get the threats and the this and that. And it's like, but it's really funny because when these people like get upset or if somebody sends me like a threatening message, I laugh most of the time because the tone of it is that they're cutting a promo on me, and it's like they'll write me a message like it's their promo that they're cutting, like you jabroni this and that, and if I ever see you, I'm gonna slam you, and I'm like. Did he just want to say that to me?
Yeah.
It is entertaining. It's pretty funny though. And I read them and I'm like, just got another promo cut on me. There you go.
Yeah, no, there's like weird. I mean, I've gotten a lot of weird fucking DMs. You don't know what you're going to open to, especially if it's like a video. Like you go to like a video, like all of a sudden you open it and it's like some guy like jerking off or some shit. Like I've gotten a lot of weird. You got to take the good with the bad.
Never opened one of those, Hug.
Oh,
mine are only dudes telling me like they love bears and like how sexy I am.
One guy, like there's several guys want to fly me out to like, one guy's like, hey, if I fly you to California and pay you like 10 grand, will you come out here? It's not gay. I'm just going to muscle worship you. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound gay at all. Let me ask my wife. Maybe I will.
10 grand?
Hey, Mrs. Barlow, we got 10 grand. Yeah. As long as it's not gay, I'm in, dude.
As long as we say it's no homo prior to the event, we're good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. He'll be wearing my skin as a bodysuit next week.
It's still not gay.
Very not gay though. This is a very serious question. How many hot dogs can you eat at one sitting?
Dude, honestly, probably like 2. I get full.
2?
Okay, 2. No bun.
No bun. 5. No bun.
5. All right, there we go.
Because we're thinking about getting a hot dog eating contest coming up on July 4th.
I just watched.
I've always wanted to get into that.
I just watched this new Mr. Beast video with like he had 5 sumo wrestlers against like the world champion hot dog eating contest guy.
Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
And like these 5 sumo wrestlers are like tapping out after like 5 hot dogs with a bun, and they're like
Chestnut's got like 80 in.
Yeah, and like Joey Chestnut's at like 50 hot dogs, and it's like, dude, it's bizarre. I have no idea how he can do that. I mean, it's practice, but
yeah, they train. They eat lettuce, I guess, and there's all kinds of weird ways, but still, it's insane, dude. Fucking nuts.
It is insane. But wait a minute. I got a question for you because we talked about Chicago food earlier.
Oh yeah.
Your favorite burger, if you had to pick a fast food chain.
Oh geez. I'll be honest with you. I never ate a fast food hamburger. I've ate a lot of chicken sandwiches. My favorite chicken sandwich is either I would say Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Spicy Chick-fil-A sandwich is my favorite. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I've never ate a McDonald's hamburger.
It's great.
I've never ate any of those. And I went to Culver's and I was with one of my buddies and I always get like the chicken or something from there. He goes, dude, you got to have this whatever burger. And I'm like, all right. So I get Culver's hamburger. Dude, it was fucking awesome.
So I'm
going to go Culver's right now because that's about the only one I've ever had fast food wise.
There you go. Got it.
I would say that.
Yeah, I love a Culver's burger. Finn, we got Culver's when we slept in that gym in Aberdeen.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Me and Lou brought you bought a big bag of Culver's. I don't know. I thought you ate a burger, but
I don't know. Yeah, we slept in a gym in fucking Aberdeen, South Dakota one time. That was a stupid night. It was awesome.
So both of you are saying Culver's.
What's yours?
Yeah. For me, I was born in California. I got to say In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. I went the first time I ever went to California.
I love Whataburger. I do love Whataburger. My wife has changed me in that sense. She's from Texas, and I was hating on Whataburger big time, and now I love Whataburger. Whenever we go to Texas, we just went a few weeks ago. Yeah. I came home with like 15 Whataburgers in my bag.
I love the state of Texas. I have a lot of relatives in Texas, all over the state. A lot of Dallas area, Garland, Frisco. Got them down to Texas. I got them everywhere. So we drove down there as a family in an RV last summer. We pulled that RV right into fucking Whataburger because I never had it.
Yep.
And it was good. I like Whataburger as well. Whataburger is very good. And In-N-Out, I had in California as well one time.
You know who loves Whataburger too is Jimmy Hart. And Jimmy Hart is probably the most simple but the pickiest eater I've ever met in my life ever. And it's funny because he only eats like 3 things. Like 3 things is all he'll eat, which is like French fries, and he eats white rice and a cold cheese sandwich, not a grilled.
What?
It cannot be grilled. It has to be
wrong with this guy.
Slices of white bread with like a slice of cold cheese in the middle.
Gross.
Like a Kraft single or like cheese, like real cheese, or like a
Kraft single.
Oh God, American cheese.
That's disgusting.
That's it.
Real American cheese.
He's eating like plastic.
Like I know it. It's terrible, dude.
Cannot be grilled. He won't eat it.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah. That's it. And
hilarious.
Then, so out of the picky diet, like if we pull up to a Whataburger, he'll eat a Whataburger.
Jesus.
But it's funny because we'll go places and he's like so simple to order for, but like we'll be in places and like I'll have to like explain to people like, no, like a cold cheese sandwich. I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, what is there to not get? It's 2 pieces of bread and a piece of cheese.
Some American
bread,
cheese.
A Kraft
costs
single.
like 5 cents.
Yeah. Grilled cheese. Don't grill it.
No, don't grill it. God damn it.
No butter or anything, even.
Not even.
Oh my God. That's just like a dry.
That's it. Dry
cheese.
I chalky.
I'm going to ask this question, and I'm going to pee really quick out the back door. So you answer it. Can you help? Can you fill in here for me real quick? Because I've had 6 beers. We got a couple more questions left too. I want to know. Let's go with the karaoke stuff because you have Monday night karaoke down there at the Hogan's Hangout, Clearwater FL.
Yep.
What is your go-to karaoke song? And can we come in and sing karaoke at some point?
Tequila, 1 lyric.
Oh, yeah. I know. I remember that song from like the fucking 60s.
Tequila.
Tequila. That should be my song. Jesus, dude, you gotta make this question last like a minute 30 while I take a pee.
I got you.
I'm gonna pee real quick.
Yeah, no, we do some sing-alongs are always the best. It's like sing-alongs at work the best because the crowd participation is great. So like Sweet Caroline always goes off.
That rips, I'm sure. Yeah,
of course.
Gets the people going.
Yeah, it gets the people going.
Is that like how you started off? As you go with like the sing-alongs, and then you go into like break off into like the ones, or
people sign up for karaoke and they pick their own songs, so we really don't know what they're gonna sing. You know what I mean? So they come up and then it's whatever song that they chose to sing. But the interesting part about like our karaoke nights is with the bar that we have there on the beach, it's become somewhat of like a destination in itself. So like people come through, I'd say weekly, there's like some kind of celebrity there just hanging out. And a lot of them try to catch us on Monday night. And like, you know, Jake Busey was in there like 2 weeks in a row last month. And then like, I went to a meeting. Huck, I said sing-alongs like Sweet Caroline work great, but the funny thing about our karaoke nights are that like we have these random celebrity appearances that just and we don't plan it. We don't really ask people to come in. They just kind of like to come down because our bar now has turned into like a destination of sorts. And I was at a meeting today for the restaurant, and the operation manager sits me down. He's like, all right, so I got a call from Waka Flocka. He wants to come do karaoke. And I'm like, okay, sure.
That's so nice.
So you never know. He may pop in this week, but yeah, and it's fun because it's like, we always tell people it's like it's really not about how good you can sing. It's about having fun. So if you come up, you dance, do a split, wear a cool outfit, wear a costume, whatever. It's really just like the overall feeling and the vibe. If like the crowd loves you, you could probably win. So but we also have like nights like this past week where like every single person, we're like 25 singers, and like, dude, I kid you not, every single one of them could have been on American Idol. They were all
Jesus Christ, we're out.
So good. And like, I go to talk to the judges. Jimmy Hart's the main judge, and I'm talking to all the other judges, and like, none of them agreed together on anybody. Everyone was so good. Everybody had like 2 different picks. I was like, whatever. It's just, this is crazy. So obviously we always put the heat on Jimmy, and we make Jimmy the bad guy that picks.
Mm-hmm.
So.
One of my favorite songs Jimmy Hart ever sung was a song entitled Girls in Cars. You ever heard of that song?
Not what was the Gentry song? Keep on Dancing.
Girls in Cars. Wow. Hold on a second. Hold on. There's one other song I love too. It's called Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield. She's my girl and she always will be the only girl for me. Ain't no rock and roll singer gonna take her away from me. Slammy Awards 1988 or 1987.
You got to get Jimmy on this podcast.
Dude, I love Jimmy Hart, man. He is hilarious.
You'd have
Finn, is that your karaoke song, Finn?
Oh yeah, I would say I could call it right now. He goes, hello. Yeah, hello. Is Cindy in? What? She went to the Rick Springfield concert. Rick Springfield. And then he starts going, eat your heart out, Rick Springfield. Jeez, I love that song, dude. I mean, that was like a fucking 5 years old when it came out. But I remember why I used to watch the tape. But no, Jimmy, hilarious and hell of a singer.
Yeah, and it's so funny because he's got so many credits as a songwriter that people don't know about. Like,
I know,
that's just crazy.
He's written so many songs, and it's funny because he really loves wrestling. He loves the wrestling business, but he is like, it's like weird because his calling was like to be in the wrestling business, but also the music business, and the way he's tied the two together is just so flawless. It's cool.
Yeah, he's fucking great. Go ahead, buddy.
My karaoke song is "She Hates Me" by Puddle of Mud.
There you go.
You don't have to be a good singer, and then like you can just like stare at some girl, or like just like you can be, no matter how drunk you are, you can't forget the words like "she hates me."
Hit her with the creep stare.
Oh yeah, hit her with that.
Double D or double B is very good at the creep stare.
Yeah, it's just my face.
I saw that in Aberdeen, South Dakota one night. Not good. At a local pub. Right?
Turning heads.
Who is the most famous phone number you have in your phone book?
Oh God. Jeez, I don't know, man. Probably my dad.
Geez, that's a given. My God.
Yeah, we knew that one.
Well, I would say probably in the 80s and 90s, your dad, I mean, he still is, but he was arguably like one of the most famous or the most famous person in the world. Everybody knew him. I mean, that name is so recognizable.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the president, but that number's in Dad's phone, not mine.
That guy's definitely, everybody knows him. No doubt about it.
Yeah, but either that or old Uncle Dennis Rodman. That's it.
Rodman,
that's
man.
So cool.
Yeah. I'm from Chicago, and I love the Worm, dude. He was the best, man.
He's the greatest. Another one that loves to come to the bar and hang out and the karaoke nights and stuff. But he pops into town. He tours around in his tour bus. He's got like 2 tour buses, and he just goes all over with them. And he calls me at it's like 6:15 in the morning, and I'm laying in bed, and my phone rings, and I look at my phone. I'm like half asleep, Dennis, and I'm going like, what does he want? It's 6:15 in the morning, So I answer the phone. And he's wide awake, and he's like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "I'm
sleeping
in bed at home." He's like, "Oh, I'm in town. I'm going to the bar right now." And I'm like, "They're not open yet, And I'm like, he's like, "Well, they open at 7. I'll be there." I'm like, all right. He's like, get your ass down here. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I'm like, wake up, like, tell me, like, hey, Dennis called. He wants me to meet him down at the bar. Like, and it's like
awesome.
7 a.m. and like they're serving breakfast there. And, I end up going down there and hanging out, say hello to him. And like 9 o'clock in the morning rolls around and I'm like, all right, I'm pretty beat. I'm gonna go back home and catch up on some sleep, and he's just there hanging out. But he parks his tour bus like right outside the restaurant, and he just goes back and forth from our restaurant to his tour bus for like 3 days, and he just keeps yeah, and he keeps the tab open for like 3 days straight. And like he has one table and he sits at that table for the entire weekend and just keeps going back to his tour bus and back to the restaurant and just like functions out of like both spaces for the whole weekend. And like the servers who know who he is, but they've never had the Dennis Rodman experience. They're all very concerned and they're coming up to me and they're going, he hasn't closed out his check in like 2 days.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. He's good for it. He's
yeah.
Just get him whatever he needs. You know what I mean? But he's great, dude, and he's so much fun to be around. And he's so genuine. And like when Dennis Rodman loves you, man, he makes it known. To everybody around him. You could be in a crowd of 100 people trying to talk to him, and if he sees me or or my dad or something, he'll stop everything going on to come over and give you a hug and say hello and greet you. He's like one of the most genuinely kind, nice people I've ever met.
Yeah, dude, I'm from Chicago. I love Dennis Rodman, man. He was the fucking best. I watched basketball then. I was like kind of a little kid, but I'll never forget that era. Holy fuck, dude. Those last 3 championships with Jordan and everything that happened with that.
Yep.
And then dude, he won a fucking NBA championship. He was part of the NWO and he was banging Carmen Electra all in like the same fucking weekend. I mean, wild.
There's some funny stories about that too.
I heard some stories
when he was missing practice, and he was running around
Vegas.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of The Last Dance. Is that whole,
this
sequence.
is good.
Yeah, well, when he was running around with Dad in the NWO and he was missing practice and stuff, it was like there's like certain places that they could be, and they'd be out somewhere and they lost Dennis, and it's like, how do you lose Dennis? He's like 7 feet tall, and it's like, I'll tell you the rest of the story later off air, but you walk into a certain room and you could see his head sticking up over like everybody, and it's like, there's Dennis, but
yeah,
it's
wild, man, fucking awesome, best rebounder of all time, would fucking party like a rock star and then fucking get 22 rebounds the next night, or next day.
Yeah, well, a buddy of mine used to travel with him a lot, and he'd tell me that like for New Year's, during that era of like the Bulls championships and stuff, during that era for like New Year's, Dennis would have his own plane and they would start in Miami and then celebrate New Year's in Miami early, go get on the plane, fly to like Chicago, celebrate New Year's again, get back on the plane, go to Vegas, celebrate New Year's again, and then like end the night at like 4 or 5 in the morning in LA. And they'd like celebrate New Year's in like 4 different cities in the same night and just take the plane, just keep going backwards against time. Obviously not celebrating at midnight in each place, but like early in the night until like the next day, they would basically spend the whole of New Year's Eve across the entire country.
God damn, that is fucking awesome. Holy fuck, dude. What an animal.
Yeah, that's it, man.
What's a question people always ask you? Like,
it's a lot of it comes with like stuff surrounding Dad. With I would say the most common question is like, what was it like growing up with Hulk Hogan being father? And that was something that we covered, early on in the podcast.
Yeah,
like it was unique because you see these things and you're exposed to like these experiences that my friends weren't having or weren't experiencing, and it was different. And that's when you start to realize that like your dad is someone special, or that my dad would have cool cars, or my dad has his own gym, and like my dad's buddies are all 350 pounds, or Macho Man's my babysitter, like that. But that's probably the most common question.
Yeah, your dad, I mean, I seen in some videos, like I think on that show, Hogan Knows Best, but he had a hell of like a home gym. I mean, your dad like a home gym nerd? I mean, does he have a lot of home gym equipment, or does he still have a lot of home gym equipment?
Yeah, he's thinned it out a little bit over the years. His new house that he's in, he still has a core of most of the equipment, but you know, he's had everything at the original home gym at the house where we filmed the show. He had, I mean, everything in there, you know, cable cross machines, Olympic bench, incline press,
Pretty much like a regular gym in the house.
everything. I mean, he actually had more equipment than some gyms.
Yeah,
you
which
know?
he had to have because he's so goddamn famous. I mean, he just can't really go down the street all the time and train without everybody bothering him.
And it had to be convenient for him to train.
Yeah.
You know, it was part of his job to
Right.
be, you know, in shape and
Jacked,
to be athletic
tan.
and to be jacked. Yeah. So, you know, he had to make it where he could get it done, you know, without, you know, any excuse, you know, like, oh, if something came up, I can't get to the gym. That couldn't be an excuse. He had to be able to get it done.
Did he get you in there like really young, or was he like, you don't want no
like,
part of this?
Yeah, what
Was it
age
like
did you
that?
get in there? Yeah.
Yeah, I started training probably around the time I was like 8 or 9 years old, learning about the gym and about working out. And, you know, he never like pushed me to like, you know, take it too seriously, but I liked being there with him. I liked being down in the gym, being one of the boys with my dad and his friends hanging out and
super
you
cool.
know, acting like I'm lifting weights. And then around the time I was like 11 or 12, I started taking it a lot more seriously. And then my friends would come over and he'd coach us or he'd show us, put us through a workout and, you know, we'd learn. And then by my teenage years, I was pretty much working out full time. And I've consistently worked out, trained my whole life. So, you know, right now I've had a little trouble with my left shoulder. So I've been nursing that back a little bit the past few weeks, but I would say still to this day, I'm really consistent, at least 4, 5, 6 days a week training. And I'm cruising at around 220 right now, but I've gone up to like 250 pounds and I like being big. I like, you know, having a good swell and being pumped up. And then, yeah, I've also done a lot of like the dieting down and, you know, getting really down. I've been down to like 180 pounds, super lean and stuff. So it's something that was like instilled in me young, that the knowledge is so valuable to have, to be able to take care of yourself and to be able to achieve whatever physique that you want, you know. And yeah, it changes, you know. Sometimes I like to be big, sometimes I like to be lean, sometimes, you know, I just like to cruise. So it's just beneficial to have that knowledge and to be able to achieve that, you know. So I think it's probably going to be time to get big again soon, though.
I love that.
Well,
being strong kicks ass.
Yeah, I mean, you probably felt like I don't know if like equal to your dad, but when you're training with your dad, you kind of feel like you're with your dad. I don't know how to say.
Well,
You just like have a thing together. You like have a
Well,
thing.
yeah,
you
it's like
both
to
get,
yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
it.
Well, he's still like infinitely stronger than me.
Yeah,
I mean,
your
like,
dad's Hulk Hogan.
yeah, I mean, me even at my absolute strongest at like 250 pounds, and I'm not a super tall guy. I'm only 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So for me, 250 pounds is a lot of size for my height. But even at my absolute strongest, it's still like his warm up.
Right.
And it's like it just blows my mind sometimes when we train, and it's like effortless to him, but like it's like a gross display of strength. And it's like sometimes he'll do it just to mess with me, and he'll like just rack it, and then he'll throw a plate and pin it again and put another plate and this and that. And I'm like, I can't even move it. And he just reps it. And I'm like,
yeah,
he's 71. And
yeah,
like,
I know, man. It's
unreal.
fucking wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hulkamania forever. I mean, right? Hulkamania forever. That's what it is. The immortal one.
What's like the craziest? What's the craziest thing like you've seen your dad do in the gym? I mean, if you don't have one, that's fine. But
no, it's just the strength, dude. It's like the strength, and it's like it's unbelievable. And that's what some people don't, you know, realize, is that even him being 71 years old, the strength that he had when he was even younger in his 30s and 40s was just like unbelievable, bro. I've seen him like bend bars and do stuff that just like isn't even fathomable for normal human beings.
Right.
He's so unrealistically strong, and like he's still to this day, he's got the strength and like his grip. Even like, you know, the other day he went.
Oh yeah, I shook his hand. That motherfucker's got a hell of a grip on him still.
Yeah, he did it to me the other day. He's like, "Oh, I'm getting my grip back." And you're like, he goes, "Give me your hand." He almost broke my hand. I'm going,
hey, he still gives a hell of a fucking chest slap. I'll tell you that. I didn't see that even coming, dude. Did you see that video?
Yep.
Fuck, he's slapping the shit. I mean, I loved every minute of it because I told him, I said, "Hey, brother, I got this idea. We're going to be the I forget what I said. Something about the mega powers, but we're the some bullshit." And he goes, let's just go, brother. I said, all right. So I start saying all this shit, and he just starts slapping the fuck out of me. I'm like, more. And then I've crushed a can over my head. I started fucking bleeding all over the goddamn ground. They had to shut the line down and clean up the blood, the beer that was everywhere.
It's great.
Fucking loved it, man. It was awesome.
He loves Huck Finn, man. It's funny.
That's the best, dude.
It's funny every time he sees you on his page. Did you see Huck's new video? Did you see Huck? You see Huck? You know, he loves it, man. He's so entertained by it.
God, man. Well, I love fucking lifting weights and fucking drinking beer and just being a wild man. You know, I mean, that's how I was raised, and that's how I'm always gonna be: drinking beer, lifting weights.
Let's get stupid.
Like, if I don't drink, what are my 3 things? Is beer, weights, and sex. Like, that's it. If I don't have that, I mean, throw the dirt on me right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's it, brother.
That's it.
Hell yeah.
Can't disagree with you, Huck.
I mean, it's the greatest, man. What's the funniest rumor that you've ever heard about yourself?
Oh, man. Well, the ones that pop up of like me, you know, being dead, those are just like, it's just kind of like funny to read because I'm reading it and I'm like,
you're like,
I died today.
Yeah. Nick Hogan dead.
I am.
You know, that's the number 2 thing on Google that when you search Huck Finn barbell or Huck Finn dead.
Yeah. The other ones are really great is like these like massively inflated net worths or something.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
you look on like, it's like, what is so-and-so worth? And it's like $10 million. And it's like, well, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But there's, you know, the internet's a funny place, man.
Holy fuck. What did I say? What's your, because you're a car guy. I did want to get into this. What is your favorite Fast and Furious movie?
The first one.
The first one. First ones are always the best, man. Just like Revenge of the Nerds, Dumb and Dumber. I mean, it's always the first one.
The first one, man, it's that black Charger, you know, it's so good. It's so classic, you know. And Dad has a similar Charger. He's got a 68 Charger that's about 800 horsepower, and he's had it since I was a kid. But Dad's a big Mopar guy. You know, he's got some Demons. He's got, you know, some Roadrunners. He's got Chargers. He's got a couple of Cudas and stuff. So he's big time Mopar guy. So I gotta blame him for getting my love for cars started at a young age.
Does your dad have, or had he had any cars that you're like, why'd you sell that? Or like,
his Hummer. His Hummer and his Vipers. I wish he'd kept his Vipers and his Hummer. His Hummer was
like a red and yellow fucking Viper or something.
Yeah, well, he sold that one for charity to raise money for a buddy of ours charity, 50 Legs. They help get prosthetics for people that have lost their limbs. So that's a really great cause. And his Hummer was bad ass. So it was a black Humvee with the slant back, but it was all like, had this sound system in it that had like the NWO logo in it. And it was dude, it was just loud as hell. And it was, you know, the turbo diesel, and it was just like this badass blacked out Hummer, like something that absolutely you could picture Hollywood Hogan driving. I wish he still had it.
That's what you'd expect him to pull up in. That'd be so sick.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
If me and Double B down there with the Double D's came to visit you, where would you take us? What would a night out look like? And what the fuck would we do? Where would we go?
Hogan's Hangout.
Hogan's Hangout, Monday Night Karaoke.
Easy peasy, man. Hogan's Hangout, Monday Night Karaoke. That's it. And it would start off with you crushing a couple Real Americans.
Goddamn right.
At the opening of the show. And then you would have to be our special guest judge.
I'm in 100%, dude. I definitely got to make it down there. Like I said, I really wanted to go down last year for a fucking Bucks game and then to hang out with you guys. So go to a Bucks game Sunday and then Monday Night Karaoke, you know?
Yeah. Yep. That's it, man.
I got to make that happen this year, my friend.
I think so.
Yes. Do you have any, like, we're kind of getting towards the end, and I also have a 5-question kind of pop-up challenge for you after this, but what's your future plans?
Future plans, man. So obviously, like I said, music is always in the future plans. That's just been a consistent thing for me my whole life. I've been releasing music for 20 years, been DJing for 20 years, and that I don't think that'll ever change. I think I'll always be a musician at heart and be involved in the music industry. But we've got so many things going on now with the new bar opening in New York. We've got the new store opening in Tennessee. We've got there's a really, really cool documentary that we just got done filming some stuff for about Dad that's going to be coming out on the biggest streaming service there is. So
shit, that sounds awesome.
About that coming out. Yeah. You know, we've got so much of that I really would love to expand more on, the brand, the beer company. We've got, Real American. We're going to get to all 50 states probably this next year. So we want to continue to push that.
South Dakota.
Yeah. Yep,
We need South Dakota ASAP.
So, we want to continue to grow the beer brand and the company. And then, obviously these bars and restaurants that we've got, we're opening in New York. We would love to do some stuff and franchise more locations. So for me, it's the future plans are really to take this foundation that, my dad has built and continue to build it with him and expand it and continue to make the brand like a nationwide thing that people can experience and eventually international, and connect their childhood memories and their, sports athletes that they loved growing up and be able to create it and turn it into a tangible experience for them, whether it be drinking a beer or going to the restaurant or whatever, and making it something immersive that they can enjoy.
I got a guy that's one of my good buddies, Jacob Ross. He's with this Luol Deng, who was an NBA basketball player. He runs his foundation, but he knows a guy in India who's like a really big wig out there, and he wants to get Real American beer to India. He told me this the other day. So if there's some kind of connection,
Give him my number.
I will. I swear to God, because he's like, dude, this guy really wants to bring it to India. So he talked to me yesterday about it. And when you brought that up going international, I'm like, fuck, that's what Jacob Ross said the other day. So I definitely will.
Yeah,
it's worldwide.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're going to get into my top 5 questions, which they get gradually harder, as they go along. So
all right, well,
first,
would you rather have fingers for toes or toes for fingers?
I definitely would rather have toes for fingers.
Right?
I think so. Hold on.
Fingers for toes, dude, because then you can like grab shit with your feet.
Right?
Oh yeah, finger.
Over.
I mean, yeah. I'm at the opposite. I'm the opposite. Shit.
Right. I'm
I
glad we
failed
got
already. Damn it.
All
That's
right.
way too tough a question. That should have been
laying on the
5.
couch, reach the remote like with your foot on the coffee table. Dude,
Totally right.
That would
I'm an
change my
idiot.
life.
Yeah, I know it.
I'd be 450 pounds.
You already are.
Oh God.
All right. Well, now the important questions.
All right. So, obviously, question number 1 is always, what do you bench?
What do I bench? Oh man, it's definitely not 500 pounds.
Well, we got to stop talking then. Don't talk to me unless you bench 500 pounds.
Well, that was a great interview.
Gotta go. Nice talking to you, Hug. Definitely not 500 pounds.
Well, not a lot of people could do that, brother. I mean, shit, 225 and 315 are just huge hurdles. Most of the world can't even do 225 or 315,
Yeah, man, I'm probably, I'm closer to the 200 mark. So, I'm not gonna embarrass myself too bad.
Well,
here.
and you've been desensitized too. I mean, you've been around some of the strongest, biggest guys in the world as well. I mean, and I have too. So it's
my real limitation there is my shoulder. I've had some major injuries with my left shoulder. I've dislocated it probably 40 or 50 times, and there's really I've got an issue with flat
masturbation accident. Or?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. It's how it happens every time.
I can see that. I can see 40 or 50 times. Got to be masturbation.
Yeah. So for me, it's like Olympic bench is extremely difficult with that injury. So it's hard to build the strength there from that.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All
right. What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? Oh man. Yeah. Chocolate chip cookies is a weakness, but I gotta say like red meat. It's got to be red meat, burgers, steaks, stuff like that. It's got to be red meat.
Great choice.
Your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Man, it's easy. I think it's Fast and Furious. No, Rocky 3. Got to be Rocky 3.
Oh,
is it Megan? What was the scary movie you were in?
I killed Katie Malone, man.
Right
Katie
there.
Malone.
There it is,
I was
brother.
thinking like Megan Moses or something.
Yeah,
Megan Moses.
No, I think it's a toss-up. I loved the original Fast and Furious movie, and I loved Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm car guy, car guy movies and stuff like that. So that's got to be it. But I love True Romance. If it's not a car movie, I'd say True Romance is probably my number 1.
Okay. Your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Hogan Knows Best.
Great show.
Yeah.
Good answer.
It's Game of Thrones.
Fuck, dude. I try to watch Game of Thrones because everybody watch it. I literally talk to my friends to tell me, like, explain to me what happened during the episodes for like the first 2 seasons. And I stopped watching after that. I just didn't get it. I like the sex in it. I kind of like the characters and shit, but I didn't understand shit, man. It was it was over my head. I'm not.
It's too many.
It's a deep dive.
It is very deep, dude.
It's a deep dive.
Too many names, dude. I'm
The
stupid.
fucking
I
Thor
can't
was in
keep
it too. The Mountain Thor was in that
Yeah.
shit.
I got my dad hooked on it finally. He was resistant for a while, and I finally got him hooked on it. But oh yeah, Righteous Gemstones too. Righteous Gemstones. We love Danny McBride.
Oh yeah,
I loved
dude.
that.
Danny McBride is awesome in Eastbound and Down, man. That was one of my
Oh,
favorite
Oh yeah,
shows.
Kenny Powers.
Fucking awesome character.
I love the God Squad in Righteous Gemstones. Just the
Yeah.
buff dudes.
Kelvin
Man, they
and-
messed up.
Yeah,
They should have had you in there.
I know it, man. Listen, I've been in a couple movies. They should have got me, brother.
they missed an opportunity.
Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Favorite song.
Favorite song. Whoa. Shoot, man. I don't know. It's tough, man.
I
It's
told you these get harder, brother.
yeah, it is. I'd have to say it's tough for me, but maybe I mean I'd have to say some kind of like if favorite of all time. I mean, can't go wrong with Motley Crue.
Okay.
You know, Girls, or Van Halen, Hot for Teacher. Some of those are just unbelievable
Classics.
But newer stuff. I mean, I love Daft Punk. I love Robot Rock. There's a fantastic scene in one of the Iron Man movies where Tony Stark is kicking his buddy's ass to Robot Rock, and it's just like it's so fitting. It's perfect.
Now, what is your wife's favorite song? It's got to be country. Come on, she's from Texas.
What is it?
You should know.
Put me on the spot.
I'm sorry, brother.
Spice Girls. She loves Spice
Oh,
Girls.
Spice Girls. That's very good. You can't go wrong with Spice Girls.
Can't go wrong.
Hey, did she know how to do the Tootsie Roll?
Do you know how to do the Tootsie
That
Roll?
was like 10 years before my time.
10 years
shit.
before her time.
You could still learn it.
Dang it. I learned it the other day. I started doing it.
The original Macarena, we got that one down.
That's good.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. All right. This, like I said, these are going to get tougher. So this is going to get tougher. 8 times 7.
8 times 7. Isn't that 56?
Bam, dude. You fucking got it. God damn it. I thought you were going to get it.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Name the 2 major mountain ranges in the United States.
Is it the Rockies and Appalachian?
Motherfucker. Hey, you got help. You had help, man.
She
Come
nailed
on.
the first one.
Damn it. All right. Now,
Well, that'll be my lifeline. That was phone a friend there. Phone a line.
okay.
There you go.
Okay, this is the final question. Now, this is going to be tough. 4 states that touch the Gulf of America.
4 states that touch the Gulf of America. Florida.
Hold on. You already phoned a friend. I hear her in the background.
All right. No.
I know
more-
she knows. She's
more
from
lifeline.
Texas.
It's Florida, Texas,
Oh, shit, I forget you guys are from Florida.
Louisiana,
Ah,
Yeah, that's
dang, you
easy.
got it. These are terrible.
Alabama.
Dude, you passed with flying colors. God damn it.
I,
got all
I
of them.
live on the Gulf of America, so
Shit.
you should get it.
We forgot about that, damn it. Where were you on that one,
No.
dipshit?
I don't know. I was trying to remember the states.
You know what
God
you
damn it.
could have got me on though is the Great Lakes. I
Oh,
really,
shit. That was my bonus question. It was the 5 Great Lakes.
yeah. I'm good luck.
5 Great Lakes is Homes, Homes. Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior.
Yeah,
Well, I'm from up here, so I know those. But that
Yeah.
was the bonus question.
yeah. So I failed the bonus round. You got me there.
Dang it. All right. Do you have any questions for us, for Huck Finn or that double B with the double Ds?
When are we going to see you at Monday Night Karaoke?
I'm going to lay it on the line right now. I will guarantee, this is a Huck Finn Barbell guarantee and an exclusive on the show.
Let's hear it.
I will be there no later than this fall. No later.
Oh, all right.
Could be this
All right.
summer, but no later than the fall because I do plan on going down there for at least one Tampa game while Cole keeps playing down there.
Yeah, I really want to see the.
So I want to
Bucks
do a
with Cole.
Sunday and then a Monday with you guys.
All right.
And then
I
I'd
like it.
I'd like you to go with the game with us, you know?
Yeah, I'll roll to the game with you.
Yep.
That's
So we'll go
great,
see
man.
O'Keefe play, and then Monday night we're gonna party down at the Hogan's Hangout, my friend.
That's great, man. No, dude, I just gotta say thank you for having me on, man. This was a pleasure. I love catching up with you. It's always been a great time, hanging out with you and catching up. So
No, you're the best, brother.
having
Thanks
me.
for coming on, man.
Yeah, this was a good one, man. We're 2 hours in the hole. This was a good
Yeah,
one.
it's like
Yeah,
45
geez.
minutes, no problem, brother.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thank you guys. Double B, great to meet you. And
Yeah.
always a pleasure, brother.
Yeah, you
If
go
you're ever in
find.
Sioux Falls, come lift weights in my garage with me.
We got a good garage gym out there,
Yes,
brother.
come check it out.
I like it.
All right, hey, we're gonna stay on air here. I'm gonna cut it off the live stream. Then we're gonna stay on air because I got to hear that story before I cut
Oh,
it off for
sorry.
tonight. All right.
All right.
So where can everybody find you, old Nick Hogan?
Yeah, at Nick Hogan.
That's pretty easy. There you go.
Twitter's got a 4 and real after it, but Facebook Nick Hogan, Instagram Nick Hogan, Spotify Nick Hogan for the music.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all pretty simple.
Real American Beer.
You can find me at Real American Beer. There you go. The Real
Fucking
American.
Hogan's Hangout Monday nights down in Clearwater, FL.
That's it, man. Monday nights, every Monday, I host the show, and
Oh,
it gets
hell yeah.
crazy in there.
Go down there, drink some beer, listen to some good karaoke from none other than Jimmy, the Mouth of the South Heart.
Yes.
And you'll see a lot of crazy shit in there, man.
Yep.
All right, brother. We're going to end the show. Huckfin
right.
Barbell says, okay, bye. Where's your sign off? Double D.
See you later, little sweeties.
That's a terrible sign off, brother.
Hey, I'm working
next
on it.
week.